Okay, members, on RRP3, you have the staff suggested changes in language. Any question, discussion, debate? Okay, on RRP3, page 12, is there a motion? Moved. Staff recommendations. Is there a second? Mr. Fiorini. Discussion. Starting with Mr. Johnston.
Mr. Chairman, if I would abstain, this would prevent the staff from proceeding to compensation. If I were to abstain, would this prevent the staff from moving this rule to?
I don't know the answer to that question. Let's circle back and see what the vote is first.
Members of the council.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, so Mr. Johnston is aye. Temporarily pass on Judge Damrell.
Fiorini, aye.
Eisenberg, aye.
This is on our P3.
P3.
Yeah, aye.
Aye.
Totally aye.
Okay, so we've got 4-0, and you would wish to abstain on that?
Abstain.
Okay, one abstention. Okay. Now, members, I'm going to make a suggestion, a break of 10 minutes. We have been punishing all these people without a rest since 9 o'clock. Let's come back. And here's my projection. There are only 2 remaining policies to act on. They're both in risk reduction. Then the last part of business is to go through the Delta Plan portion. And, I'm sorry, the last part in this section is the Delta Plan portion with 35 consent items on the consent calendar that are simply, I think in almost all cases, technical, or a couple of them are adjustments of language. And we can raise questions about that. Staff wants our permission to do that. And then we have the 2 science reports that we're going to hear, which are non-action items. And my hope is to get us out of here at 1 o'clock. Mr. Knopp?
I think we can do that.
Okay. Okay, 10-minute recess. It is, let's start again at 8 minutes after noon. Okay, all right, council's called back into order. Members, I should probably make one note for the minutes. When we voted and approved the definition sections with the changes that were indicated, I don't think I announced, but Gloria Gray had recorded a vote, but I think we have to interpret the vote as yes only to the section that dealt with short-term transfers, because I just forgot to ask her what she intended on the remainder of the stuff. So the minutes ought to reflect that change, and if you have a question about how to word it, if you talk to Mr. Stevens on that after the meeting, I'd appreciate it. Okay, members, let's go back now. We had finished up the discussion of RRP2, which is flood protection for residential development in rural areas. This is on page 12 of the report, and we're going to have to walk through this. Are there any further questions? We've had testimony. Okay, is there a motion? Move, Mr. Johnston, second.
Second.
Mr. Fiorini on the staff recommendation. Okay, discussion?
Did you not have a motion before? Did you have a motion before? I thought Randy made a motion.
Did we make a motion before?
Yeah, Randy seconded by Eisenberg.
Oh, okay. Goes to show you.
I was just reaffirming my previous second.
That's in law school we call that a use on a use. Okay, that's what. I'll withdraw my original stuff so Patrick can get the joy of doing this. Okay, we've got a motion. I was going to vote no on your version. Okay, Johnston, aye. Go ahead.
Fiorini, aye.
Eisenberg, aye.
Totally no.
Okay, Judge, this is an issue where we have no ability to act, and without an action, we'll not be able to include this in a revised issue. This is RRP2 on page 12. This is
okay, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Okay, RP2. Well, my understanding that we worked out previously, if my abstention would affect the outcome,
yeah,
it in effect would be a vote. So I'm going to withdraw my abstention, and I think that the recommendations of the staff seem to be reasonable, so I'm going to vote aye.
Okay, so let's record that. That's a 4-1 vote. It passes. Okay. Now, there's one remaining issue in this section, RRP4, floodplain protection. Mr. Ray.
Again, this is a recommendation that would deals with floodplains beyond those regulated by the flood board, and it's designed to, the revisions are just simply designed to provide some clarity by making clear we're not regulating the Yolo bypass outside of the delta, and trying to conform our description of what we want to happen with the recommendations of the flood board.
Okay.
They were concerned that when we said permitted, we were referring to their permits, and so we were revising that. And of course, we want to make sure we're talking about significant adverse impacts.
Okay. Questions by members of the council? Mr. Zuckerman, I have you down for comments on this one too? No, my apologies.